The Puppet Show. One sunny summer morning, Berry knocked hard on Dolly's door. It's the puppet show today. Let's go and tell Flutter and Eddie too. Berry and Dolly's first stop was at the pretty butterfly's house. Wake up, Flutter. The fleas are going to give a puppet show. It's Snow White. The little friends stopped in front of the potato beetle's house. Eddie, are you coming to see the puppet show? But Eddie didn't open his door. Hurry up, Eddie, we're going to be late, Berry shouted, but there was still no answer. Flutter gently turned the handle and popped her head inside. Are you still in your pyjamas, Eddie? Berry grumbled. Hurry up and get dressed. I'm not going. My tummy's covered in nasty bites. It really itches, Eddie sobbed. Let me have a look, Dolly told him. They're not bites. You've got chicken pox, the ladybird girl told her sickly friend. There's no need to be scared. I've had them already, and I had thousands of spots. I'll go and get Dr. Owl, Dolly announced. He'll know what to do. Dr. Owl soon arrived and took a good look at Eddie. It's definitely chickenpox. Chickenpox is contagious, Eddie. I'm afraid you won't be able to go to the puppet show. Contagious? Does that mean Berry, Dolly and Flutter are going to catch my chickenpox? No, don't worry. You can only catch chickenpox once, and they all had it last year. You mustn't scratch your spots. There'll be another puppet show, Berry reassured him. Don't be sad. You'll get better soon, Dolly smiled. Berry, Dolly and Flutter said goodbye to the little potato beetle and hurried off to see the puppet show. The puppet show was already set up in the meadow, and the puppeteers were 5 fleas. The curtains soon opened, and the puppet show began. They all watched the rest of the puppet show and clapped loudly at the end. The flea puppeteers came out from behind the tent and took a bow. It's such a shame that Eddie couldn't come with us, Dolly said with a sad smile. I'm sure he'd have really liked it. Why don't we put a puppet show on for him? Dolly suddenly suggested. That's a super idea, Dolly, Flutter said. And the 3 friends were soon all hard at work. Flutter drew dwarves, Dolly drew Snow White and the Prince, and Berry drew the Wicked Queen. Then they cut their drawings out and glued them onto sticks. When they were ready, they all crept under Eddie's window and tapped on the glass. The little potato beetle opened the window and looked out. Let the puppet show begin, Berry announced, and the 3 friends started the show. Thank you, he said. You're the best friends a beetle could have. Dr. Owl came back 10 days later, and all Eddie's spots had gone.
Dr. Owl and the Cakes. Summer had arrived in the forest. All the little friends decided to have a picnic to welcome the new season. Let's have a picnic in the meadow, suggested Balthazar the bee. Everyone should bake something, added Zephyr the dragonfly. We should make someone the judge, who can taste all the cakes and decide which one tastes best, Berry suggested. We should ask Dr. Owl, shouted Flutter. The little friends set to work. Dolly made cakes with ladybird spots. Berry, of course, made snail-shaped rolls. Balthazar made lots of stripy bees. Bubble made flower-shaped shortbread. Rosita made strawberry balls with marzipan roses. Flutter made butterfly biscuits. Morris made sweet dumplings. Eddie made caramel cakes. The centipede made long cake slices. Zephyr made fruity balls. Stanley made poppy pies. Frank made chocolate drops. The moon beetle made lemon cookies. Spider made apple bonbons. Iris made coconut snowmen. Betty made chestnut hearts. The ant queen made crowned muffins. And Harry, Hedgehog and Leapy made tiny treats in the shape of hedgehogs. Everyone was ready by noon, and they all gathered in the meadow. They arrived with large plates of cakes. Dr. Owl soon appeared. They're very pretty, he hummed happily. Now all go home and come back when it's getting dark. I'll announce the most delicious cake this evening. As soon as it started to get dark, the little pals made their way to the meadow. But when they arrived, they were surprised to see that Dr. Owl was fast asleep. Berry shouted out, Dr. Owl, where are all the cakes? Have you eaten all of them? Dolly said, sounding upset. Well, maybe I tasted more cakes than I should have, he explained. And which one won? Asked Bubble. I don't know. My tummy hurts so much that I can hardly move. The others felt sorry for Dr. Owl. His tummy hurt so much that Harry Hedgehog took him home in his cart. So now what? Will the picnic be cancelled? Bubble asked sadly. Of course not, a voice shouted, and the firebug appeared in his chimney cake truck. The forest friends cheered up right away, and the sound of jolly music filled the meadow. They all stood in a circle and danced until late, and of course, they ate all the chimney cake and a few crumbs that Dr. Owl had left. The next morning, Dr. Owl woke in a grumpy mood. I'm rounder than ever, he grumbled to himself. Then there was a knock at the door. How are you, Dr. Owl? They all asked at once. Better. I'm sorry for spoiling the picnic. You didn't spoil it, Berry laughed. Come and do some exercises with us, Balthazar added. We'll all move about together and you'll soon start to feel good. Dr. Owl puffed and panted, but he did all the exercises, and it really did make him feel much better indeed.
The hot air balloon. One summer afternoon, a storm blew up in the forest. Dolly the ladybird and Berry the snail sat watching it from the spotty house. The wild wind twisted the trees and blew the roofs off houses. The rain came down in buckets. When the rain and wind finally stopped, the two friends took a look around the forest. Look, Dolly, the wind blew this tree over, Berry said. And the rain washed away my flowers, Dolly sighed. Leapy the grasshopper came rushing in.
Dolly! Berry! Come quickly! Someone's lying in the meadow.
The friends found an oil beetle lying in the meadow. Oh, what happened to you? What's your name? Who are you? Dolly sputtered. I'm Adette the oil beetle. I live up in the mountains, but the wind blew me down here and I hit my head really hard. My wings are weak and I can't fly. I don't know how I'm going to get home. The oil beetle sniffled. They lifted Adette up and carried her into Leapy's house. Don't worry, Dolly said eventually. We'll help you get home. That afternoon, Balthazar the bee, Flutter the butterfly and Stanley the stag beetle all came to see Adette. They tried to think of ways to help her get home.
The best thing would be a hot air balloon,
Stanley said. But what could we use to make a balloon? Berry asked. We could use blankets, pillows and sheets, Flutter suggested.
And curtains and towels too,
Stanley added. They got to work immediately. They stitched all the blankets, curtains, sheets and towels together. It took a while to get everything finished, but Adette helped as much as she could. Every day she was feeling stronger, and even her head had stopped hurting.
It's ready.
Thank you, the oil beetle replied happily. Hooray! We're flying! Berry exclaimed. Wow, it's beautiful! We can see the whole forest from here, Dolly laughed. It started to get dark. When they eventually arrived, Adette cried out, Hooray! I'm home! Thank you. Please stay the night and watch the shooting stars with me. We'd love to, the little friends said. Adette quickly made them something to eat and gave them delicious cakes and tea. After dinner, they all sat down in front of Adette's house and waited for shooting stars to appear in the night sky. Hooray! I saw a shooting star! Berry exclaimed excitedly. Me too, Dolly said.
And me,
added Stanley. They went into Adette's house when it got colder and sat and watched the stars through the window. They all made a wish and fell fast asleep. As she slowly drifted to sleep, Adette wished that someday she would meet her new friends again. Dumplings. One autumn day, Dolly the ladybird cooked plum dumplings and invited her friends to lunch. Berry came along, and so did Balthazar, Stanley and Flutter. The little ladybird girl put 3 dumplings on each plate. Berry, Dolly and Flutter were soon full. Plum dumplings, I love them. I could eat 5, said Balthazar the bee.
5 is nothing. I could eat 7.
7? I could eat 8.
I could eat 10, the little stag beetle announced.
Then let's have a competition, Balthazar concluded. Let's see who can eat the most dumplings. Dolly didn't like the sound of this, and she tried to talk them out of it, but the boys were determined. It'll all end in tears, she warned, but Balthazar and Stanley wouldn't listen.
We've already eaten 3 dumplings.
Now let's eat the fourth, Stanley suggested, and he plopped another dumpling onto each plate. When they had finished, they put another on their plates and ate a fifth dumpling each. After the fifth, they ate a sixth. After the sixth, they ate a seventh. After the seventh, they ate an eighth. And then a ninth dumpling.
And now for the 10th. Can you keep going?
Balthazar asked. I could eat twice as many, Stanley said with a shrug. The two friends ate so many dumplings that their tummies started to hurt more and more. I'll run and get Dr. Owl, shouted Flutter the butterfly. Dr. Owl examined them both and gave them a good telling off. What have you two been doing? I'm not surprised that you've got stomachache.
They ate 15 each, Berry said as he counted the plum stones on the plates.
And so it was a draw after all. It was a very silly thing to do. You'll only be allowed to eat boiled potatoes for 3 days. But the chimney cake man's coming to the forest tomorrow, Stanley complained. I'm very sorry, but there's going to be no chimney cake for you. Come and see me in 3 days and I'll take a look at your tummies again, Dr. Owl said with a scowl, and he flew away home. The very next day, the firebug arrived in the meadow with his delicious chimney cakes. All the forest friends flocked to the stall to sample his tasty wares. I'd like a cinnamon one, Dolly said.
And I'd like a coconut one, Berry added.
I only want sugar on mine, Flutter shouted. But there were also cakes with walnuts, poppy seeds and chocolate on them. Balthazar and Stanley looked sadly on, but they did as Dr. Owl had told them. On the third day, the little bee and his stag beetle friend went to see Dr. Owl. Now let's take a look at you, said the elderly owl, as he examined them both thoroughly. You appear to be better. I can see that you did as you were told. We did, Stanley said with a sob, but I so wanted to eat a chimney cake. Stanley and Balthazar said goodbye to Dr. Owl and were walking home when the old bird shouted after them. Wait 1 second. I've got something for you here. I saved 2 chimney cakes for you.
You went to the meadow, Dr. Owl?
Of course. I bought chimney cakes for my chicks and I put 2 away for you. You did exactly as I said, and so I thought you deserved a treat. Thank you, the 2 friends said with a smile, and they both threw their arms around Dr. Owl. Earache. It was a sunny autumn afternoon and Dolly decided to go and see her friend Berry. I'm going down to the stream to collect pebbles. Do you want to come? But Berry didn't feel like going out to play. I don't know, Dolly. I'm very cold and I've got a headache and my ears really hurt. Oh, Berry, your ears are all red, Dolly said. And you've got a temperature. I'll fly and fetch Dr. Owl. The ladybird flew straight to Dr. Owl's tree. Dr. Owl, you need to come quickly. Berry feels very poorly. Dr. Owl quickly packed his doctor's bag, put on his white coat and hurried to see the sickly snail. Hello there, Berry. Let me have a look at you. I need to listen to your chest. So Berry took off his pyjama top and breathed in like the doctor said. Open wide. I need to look at your throat now. I don't want to, Berry snapped. But I have to see if it's red or not, Dr. Owl explained, and shone a torch down the little snail's throat. And now I'll take a peek inside your ear. This was really too much for Berry. He started to cry and clamped his hands over his ears. Don't be silly, Berry. It won't hurt a bit. And Dolly held Berry's hand to make him feel better. She was right. It didn't hurt a bit.
Well, Berry, Dr. Owl explained, you've bad earache. You've gone and caught a nasty cold. You need to have a spoonful of this medicine every day. Drink lots of sweet tea and put bags of warm wheat on your ears.
Berry's friends came to help him right away. Balthazar brought honey, Flutter brought chamomile flowers, and Stanley brought rose hips, and they made tea for the patient. Dolly warmed the wheat in a pan and poured it into little cloth bags. Hold these on your ears until they cool down. Berry put the bags on and didn't take them off until they cooled down. Next morning, Dolly found a handful of shiny pebbles on Berry's table. Wow, Berry! Lovely pebbles! Who gave you these? I found them down by the stream, Berry said proudly. You went down to the stream? Dolly asked angrily. That was very silly, Berry. You're still not better. You'll get sick again. And Dolly was right. Berry was soon back in bed with a temperature. His little friends came to visit him every day. They read him stories and put on puppet shows. But just as Berry started to get better, Dolly started feeling worse. Now she'd got earache, and this time Berry took care of Dolly. He made her tea and warmed the wheat bags for her ears. Now it was time for Dr. Owl to pay Dolly a visit.
Gracious me, it seems we have a new patient. I think you must have caught it from Berry.
He told Dolly exactly what to do. Then he took another quick look at Berry.
You look well enough, but I'll examine you just in case. Everything's fine. You've made a full recovery, little snail.
Another few days passed. Dolly did as she was told and took her medicine. She drank plenty of tea and stayed in bed, and she soon felt much better. Dr. Owl came to see her one last time and told her she was fine. So now we can go down to the stream together and collect pebbles. Berry was very excited. Hooray! Let's all go down to the stream! Dr. Owl's 3 chicks tweeted.
Remember to dress up nice and warm. It's cold outside.
But there was no need to warn Dolly and Berry. They both wore a scarf, a hat, and warm boots. They stayed and played until it got dark and collected a whole bucket full of shiny pebbles. The Yellow Ladybird. The spring had come at last. Dolly decided it was time to tidy up her flower garden. She got her spade and a rake and tied a pretty dotted scarf around her head. She had only just stepped outside when she heard someone groaning behind her house. Christopher, your wing looks broken, the little ladybird exclaimed. The sun shone in my eyes and I flew straight into a tree. I really hurt myself, the canary said. Just then, Berry the snail and Stanley the stag beetle arrived. Stanley, please go and get Dr. Owl. Christopher's wing's broken, Dolly said, taking control. Dr. Owl soon arrived.
It looks like a very bad break,
he said seriously. Then carefully and slowly he bandaged Christopher's broken wing. You know, Dolly, Christopher said one day, there's a little ladybird living on the island I come from. Really? Is she red with black dots like me? Dolly asked excitedly. And what's her name? She's called Katie. Her back isn't red, it's yellow, but her dots are black like yours. She looks a lot like you. Why don't you come to meet her when my wing's better? That sounds like a super idea. Can Berry come too? Of course he can. There's enough room for both of you on my back. A few days later, Dr. Owl came to visit the injured canary. He was happy to say that Christopher's wing was as good as new. The canary thanked the owl for his help, put Berry and Dolly on his back, and headed for his island home.
They soon found themselves flying over a large lake with a little island in the middle of the water. Can you see it? We're flying to that island. My nest is on top of the highest tree. Hold on tight, we're coming in to land. Christopher landed perfectly, and Berry and Dolly climbed down. You can't catch me, shouted a bright beetle in an orange dress. She was talking to the tiny fleas running after her. Watch out, Dolly shouted, but the girl beetle ran right into her. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to knock you over. My name's Katie. Who are you? Oh, you're Katie. We're here to see you. My name's Dolly, and I've come a long way to meet my ladybird cousin. Ladybird cousin? Katie asked with a puzzled smile. Yes, you've got black dots just like me, except you're yellow instead of red. Wow, you're right, the yellow ladybird said. Come with me and I'll show you my house, Katie said. As soon as they saw Katie's house, Berry and Dolly started to laugh. My house looks exactly like this, but mine's red. Berry, Dolly and Katie took a long walk around the island. There's the pine forest with the little stream running next to it. We built the bridge ourselves, Katie explained with pride. And what's that in the middle of the meadow? Berry asked. It looks like a slide. That's right. It's a special flower slide. Come with me. I'll show you. Can I have a go? Of course you can. Follow me, Katie said and slid down on the curvy slide. Berry, Dolly and Katie slid down the slide again and again until it started to get dark. It's getting late. Come on, you two, I'll take you home, Christopher said. Dolly and Katie swapped headscarves as a parting present. Have a safe trip home, Katie told them. Do visit me again sometime. It was getting very late by the time Christopher arrived at Dolly's dotty house. The moon shone and the sky was full of sparkling stars. Christmas. It was a crisp winter day and Berry the snail and Dolly the ladybird went into the woods to look for a bunch of Christmas greenery. Look, Berry, this little tree got knocked over in the storm. Let's take it home. We can decorate it for Christmas. Hooray! We'll have a real Christmas tree, Berry shouted. They lifted the tree up and saw a centipede sheltering under its branches. Help me, Berry. Let's put him on the sledge. He's hurt himself and looks very cold. We can take him to my house. They lifted the centipede carefully onto the sledge. Will he be all right? Berry worried. Of course he will, Dolly reassured her friend. When they got home, they put the poorly centipede to bed. Dolly made him hot tea and Berry read him caterpillar stories from a storybook. Next morning, the centipede opened his eyes and smiled a little smile. He got better every day and soon he was healthy again. Dolly asked him to stay. You're so nice. Don't go, centipede. Spend Christmas with us.
Well, thank you. I'd love to stay.
But what should we get him for Christmas? Dolly wondered. What would make a centipede happy? Dolly told him her idea. The little snail nodded excitedly. Berry and Dolly went to see the ants. The queen ant welcomed them with open arms. Dolly told them what kind of present she'd thought of.
We can make anything you want, said the queen.
Christmas came and Berry and Dolly made a tree stand. As night fell, Berry gave Dolly her present. Merry Christmas, Dolly. Thank you, Berry, the ladybird said. She was delighted. It's beautiful. Dolly was very happy and wound the pretty ribbon around the tree. Merry Christmas to you too,
Dolly said, and handed Berry his present. Sparklers! Super! Let's put them on the tree. They lit the sparklers, and crackling sparks danced around the Christmas tree. The glittering light attracted lots of tiny fireflies, and each brought a Christmas decoration. Even the centipede helped to trim the tree. Soon the ants arrived carrying a parcel. They handed it to Berry and Dolly. "This is our present to you, centipede," Berry said to him. "Merry Christmas."
Boots!
He shouted happily. "They'll keep your little feet warm when you're walking in the snow," Dolly explained. The friends' celebrations went on late into the night. There was Eddie the potato beetle, Stanley the stag beetle, Alfonso the cricket, and Rosita the rose beetle. The fireflies built a big snowman with the little ants. They all sang and danced around the Christmas tree. Flutter the butterfly came to celebrate with them. Zephyr the dragonfly danced with Leapy the grasshopper. Berry and Dolly skipped around with Balthazar the bee. When the party was over, the centipede cleaned his boots and put them on a shelf.
What a wonderful day I've had. It's a shame that Christmas only comes once a year.
Dr. Owl gets sick. The first snow had begun to fall. Berry and Dolly sat mesmerised as they watched the white snowflakes cover all they could see. The next day, the side of the hill was blanketed in a thick layer of snow. The Ladybird girl fetched her sledge, and there was enough space on it for 3. Bubble at the front, Berry in the middle, and Dolly at the back.
"The whole forest is white,"
the spider cheered. The lake soon froze over in the chilly temperatures. The little friends had lots of fun skating on the ice. "Bubble, don't chew the icicles," Dolly shouted to the baby beetle, but Bubble's mind was elsewhere. "Come, let's build a snowman," the snail boy said, but Bubble was not in a good mood. "I've got a sore throat, Berry. We'll build a snowman another time, okay?" Berry called Dr. Owl to come and take a look at Bubble.
"Open wide,"
the old owl instructed his patients.
"Oh, it's very red. You've got a very sore throat and you need to rest in bed for a couple of days."
The little friends visited Bubble every day. Dolly even made him special tea. Flutter read Bubble stories. She put the book down when the baby beetle drifted off to sleep and carried on from the same place when he woke up again. A couple of days passed and Bubble was feeling much better. "We can build that snowman now," Bubble said to Berry with a smile. Berry and Dolly decided to invite their friends for lunch. The guests all arrived at noon. "It's really delicious," Balthazar enthused. "Why isn't Dr. Owl here?" "I don't know," Dolly replied. "Perhaps he forgot." "I know why Dr. Owl didn't come today. He's not well. He caught a chill. I met his chicks and they told me." "That can't be right," Bubble blustered. "Doctors never get sick." "Why can't doctors get sick? A mechanic's car breaks down now and again. And a cobbler gets holes in his shoes," Flutter explained to Bubble.
Let's pay him a visit and we can make him a present because it's very nearly Christmas, Berry suggested. The 4 boys sat together and made a candle holder for Dr. Owl. They glued pieces of wood together, painted winter pictures on them, and added candles on top.
It looks lovely,
Stanley said, sounding satisfied. The girls made a colourful wreath out of paper.
Dr. Owl can hang it on his front door.
Leapy smiled. The next day they went to see Dr. Owl. The old owl was weak and lying in bed, but he was delighted to see his visitors.
Oh, they are beautiful,
he said with a warm smile when he unwrapped his presents. By the time Christmas Day came around, Dr. Owl was feeling much better. Mama Owl put biscuits and cordial on the table, and the owl chicks got out their favourite cards. They chatted and played together for a long time. On their way home, they saw that Dr. Owl had placed the wreath on his front door, and the candles were burning brightly in his window. The Big Wheel. The Ant Queen had been ill for a long time. She had caught such a terrible chill that she was in bed with a fever for weeks. When she eventually got better, the ants decided that they would surprise their queen and celebrate her recovery. They thought and thought until one of them shouted, "Let's build a big wheel! There, on the hill! It can turn around nice and slowly, and we'll be able to see the whole of the forest from the top!" Oh, what a super idea! But we don't have much time. No, we haven't got a lot of time. It will be Sunday in 6 days, and then the Ant Queen will parade through the forest on the conker cart. We need to be ready by then. The ant army got to work. They started to saw and hammer as they followed the plan. They worked hard and the big wheel grew larger by the day. But the last day soon arrived, and then the last night. "We won't be ready," one of them said, sounding sad. "Let's call for help," said another ant, and they sent the news out into the forest that anyone who could should come and lend a hand. Berry, Dolly, the spider, Stanley, Balthazar, Leapy and Eddie all came along. But no matter how hard they worked, they were still running out of time. "Thank you for coming along, but we're still not going to be ready by tomorrow morning. We need much more help." The moon could see what was happening and felt sorry for the ants. He gave a little whistle, and the sleepy stars gathered all around the moon. The forest friends stared in awe at the starry spectacle and set back to work with renewed energy. And with the stars' help, they were finished in no time at all. The ants also built a motor for the big wheel, and that made the massive wooden wheel move round and round. When it was finished, everybody tried it out. the ants shouted, but by then they had gone off to twinkle far, far away. The next morning, the Ant Queen sat in Harry Hedgehog's conker cart and rode away on a parade around the forest. They arrived at the hill and could not believe their eyes. "We built it for you!" the ants all shouted together. Then they told the Ant Queen how everything had happened and invited her to take her first ride on the big wheel. They did not have to ask twice, as she happily took her place and went round and round again.